DBS Universe, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super video. Here with Chris, and today I'm going to be going over my budget-friendly Mask Saiyan Reboot leader from the new starter deck that came out in set 14. This is a very budget leader. The deck is pretty budget. The starter decks, obviously, you just get 2 of those. It's a fun deck. You can kill in turn 2, turn 3, turn 2 if you're really, really lucky. But as the game goes on, obviously, with the way that I have it built, you're obviously going to start losing more value. So it just kind of depends on how you play the deck and how good your mills are. So this is a 52 card deck, so we try to keep it as close to 50 as possible. But make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the content. Hit the bell for notifications so you guys can never miss a video whenever we post stuff. So the leader here, as activate main, you burst 3. And then you take up to 1 life, and then if you bursted a black card, your leader gets crit for the turn. If you bursted a non-black card, you gain 5k as well, so you can make your leader a 15k crit on this side. Now you awaken at 4, and on this side, you kind of have the same effect. You activate main, burst 3, same thing. Black card is milled, you gain crit. Non-black card is milled, you gain 5k. Now, for newer players, if you were to do the combination on this side, you gain crit and 5k. When you flip, because this is technically a new card, you lose all of your keyword skills. So you do lose the crit, but you do keep the 5k. So that is something that's very, very important. So on your awaken turn, the idea is you go down the 4, hopefully have crit and 5k. Doesn't matter about the crit, honestly. And on this side, you do it again. That way your leader goes up to a 25k crit, which, you know, is kind of supposed to be your kill turn, okay? Whenever a marker is removed from one of your black unisons using a spirit boost effect, you can restand your leader, and you have to take 1 life. When you do that, you lose all of the keyword skills that you have. So what that means is I don't believe you can give this leader keyword skills afterwards. You can't add Champa or other things to it to gain more power. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Now on this side though, you do draw whenever you attack. And this is important because your auto for your attacking is not once per turn. So when you swing once, if you do restand your leader, you get to swing again and draw a second time, which is very, very good. So go over that. That is the leader. And we'll now go over the cards. So we have stuff from the old starter deck, as you should be running, which is the Vegex engine. So all of these can be played out from milling, which obviously is one of our big things, which is why we play the leader. Being able to mill these cards and then hit stuff to play them out for free is very good. So this is a pseudo super combo. Your 19k attacker that also has board clear, self-awakener and a blocker, and your unison of choice. +2 takes a marker off, or +2 drop a card, gain 10k. Also -4 gain dual attack and 20k for the turn, but we never really do that. We're really using this card because it's a +2, and we're going to use it to take off markers. You can also run this guy, which came in the starter deck as well. This unison is actually going to be better for the second Bardock leader that comes out in the anniversary box because of the bottom effect with charging energy. This card's going to be much better for that. So do still keep it though. So that's the Vegex engine. Very, very cheap. We have 4 Fighting Spirits. This is one of your best cards to run in the deck just because deflect, your opponent activates a counter skill, they have to warp a card from their hand. You just basically set this on board and make them, you know, any blue matchup you play in, you basically use this card. Any matchup that wants to negate your attacks, you can use that. Now, if I was showing off side decks, I would show off what you would side into, but the Vegetas should also be a card you run some capacity. This one is for blue. Whenever they restand an energy using a non-awakened skill, they have to warp 1 card. So pretty good card too. So you have both of those. So you have the True Fighting Spirits. Drop the card here. Apologize. All right. So we have three-dimensional support trunks. This came out of the starter deck, and we have our skill list of choice. So this card's a 1 cost, 3 overall. You play it, search your deck for a 2 or less skill list, play it, and gains crit. So for 1 energy, you're playing 2 battle cards, one that's a 15, one that's a 20k crit. We play this one because we need to have a green card in the deck to use for another skill in the later on in the deck. But just having having this one, this is just the one that I chose, just because I have it foil, mainly. Next is our Overwhelms. So we have, well, that was one of the Overwhelms, obviously. The other Overwhelm that came in starter deck is the Super Saiyan 3 Tag Team Trunks. Played by Overwhelm, gains crit, activate battle. You can warp a card from your hand and give this card double strike. So turn 1, if you attack first, you can essentially attack with a 15k crit, and then a 15 dual attack crit, which is pretty irritating for your opponent to have to deal with. Not to mention, if you have a 1-drop on board that you can swing with to take a life, you get down to 4 before their turn 2. Becomes a little annoying to deal with. This card's very, very good. Later on in the game, this card becomes worse because they can. It's much easier to. This is kind of a neg, because you're not really. You're just taking away a card to give it double strike. And in some sense, it actually would be better just to Champa this to make it a 25k double strike. So, just some things to keep in mind. And then we have one Fighting Against Fates, just because got to run it in the decks, being a Overwhelm. Now, obviously, this is probably the most expensive card in the deck. So your other option that I actually was running was the SS3 Thwarting against the Dark Empire. It's a 1 cost, 6 Overwhelm. It's a 30k crit, and it warps 4 energy worth of cards on board. You also can run Secret ID. But yeah, those are just some budget options if you don't have Fighting Against Fates. 2 Tag Team Gohans. It's another draft box card. This card got reprinted, though, as a box topper in set 12, I want to say. Yeah, 12. Whenever one of your black cards leaves the battle area, you play it out for free if you don't have one, and it's a 15k blocker. So after we Overwhelm, possibly with one of the Trunkses, we just play this guy out. Now we have a 15k blocker on board for next turn. Super combos, we have the Gokus. If you have the Vegetas, run the Vegetas, they're better. Most people should have the Vegetas, like I will next set whenever the anniversary box comes out, because I'm just going to buy a full playset of the new one. Probably one of the best cards in the deck, Kraken Space Time. So if your leader is a Black Saiyan, you choose that card, give it 15k and double strike. So this is your Feat Kamehameha for black. So on this side, it's really good. You can catch your opponent off guard when they're at 5 life. You swing for crit, and then you tack this on top of it. You can make your guy a 30k double strike crit super early. Or you can do it on this side, swing for hopefully 25k crit, tack this on there to make them a 45, and then restand, swing again, and then you can basically use another one of these as a 15k combo. I don't think you'll get the double strike though, because his keyword skills are negated, but still a really cool card. 2 Power Burst. Only real negate we run in the deck. Deck's an aggro deck, so we don't really need too many negates, but these are just good just in case. So now we get into the Spirit Boost stuff. So for the new Black Mass Saiyan, it's a 1-drop. You swing, take a life, gains 15, becomes a 15k. You can Spirit Boost to take a marker off, and when you do, you get to restand this card. You can't gain the 10k again by swinging, but it is a 15k for the turn, so it's a 15k dual attack that also restands your leader, which is very, very important. And then it's also a yellow card. When it's in your hand, if your leader's a black Bardock Xeno or a Masked Saiyan, this card has no specific cost in the hand, so it becomes a whatever you want. When it's in the drop area, though, it is considered a yellow card. Or if it's in the combo area, it is considered a yellow card. The Masked Saiyan 5-drop. Guy also has Spirit Boost, so you activate main, you Spirit Boost, and then you reveal this card. Now your opponent has to choose. They either bottom deck one of their life, or you get to play this guy out and he's a 15k dual attacker. Even if they choose not to bottom deck a life, and they bounce this back or they do something to it to where it never hits the board, the Spirit Boost effect still kicks in, so your leader will still restand, because the card doesn't need to be played for the effect to go off. It just has to activate the effect. So, card's super good. Also, this card is also blue as well, which is very important. And then the other card is going to be the 6-drop Broly. So this guy also counts as black in all areas, so it just depends on what you want him to count as. So if you're trying to Dark Overwhelm, this card technically would count as black, but for us, this card also counts as red in our drop area. So you Spirit Boost. When you have 3 or more energy, you tap 1, you Spirit Boost, you warp 1 red, 1 blue, 1 yellow, and 1 green card from your drop, and then you play him out from your drop or warp. Yep. So there's your blue, there's your yellow, and there's your green. And then obviously he will be your red, one of your red targets. You also can choose him if he is in the drop. So you can basically warp these 4 cards here, and then you can play him out from your warp. And when you play him, he gains crit. He has a 30k crit that also comes into play and negs the battle card by 15, which is helpful if your opponent is using one of the token negates. Like they block your leader swing, you can then play this. You can neg the token, and now you have a 30k crit that you can swing at your opponent. What also is nice is that we do run 2 of the 7-drop Dark Broly's from the Toa deck. It plays on top of a Dark Broly of energy cost 2 or 6. Now when you play him out, you restand your leader. This card restands. If you play him by an X-Evolve skill, he restands. And if your opponent has more than, I want to say 3 life. If your opponent has 3 or more life, and there's a card underneath this, meaning you played it by an X skill, your opponent has to choose 2 of the following. They have to choose battle cards in 2 of the following areas: hand, drop, and battle area and warp. They have to choose at least 2, so it have to be from battle area hand and drop, and battle area, whatever. If they have to warp 2. If they don't, they basically burn a life. Now you have a 30k. You have another 30k swing, which is very, very good. This is why we run Fighting Against Fates, so that we can use the energy for this. So we have 2 leader swings. Hopefully we have our stuff on board that we can swing with. We pay him out for 1. We have a 30k crit swing. Then we can tap 2 to play him. Have another 30k swing, and then Fighting Against Fates have 2 swings. It's a very cool concept. This card also counts as black in all areas, so this card can also be one of the cards that you put in your drop area to warp to play him out. So it's pretty cool. I'm gonna mess around more with this. I think this is getting the deck into more of a mid-rangey type of build, because you're trying to kill on turn 3, possibly turn 4. I'll mess around with it more once I actually have some time. But this is just kind of what I put together that I just been playing with, and it's a fun thing to test too. If your opponent is if you're trying to test a deck out, your opponent or your teammate or somebody, your friend is trying to test a deck out, this is a good deck to just test, so they can play against something that's aggro, because you can get a ton of swings off turn 1, turn 2, and potentially kill your opponent. And it just sees how their deck can handle that type of pressure, especially since King Vegeta, is getting nerfed. And then we run the Hero's Lineage just for a secret rare in the deck. Really don't need the secret rare. You probably will use this energy for something else, but we just put it in the deck just because. So, but that's what I got for you guys today. Like I said, very, very budget build. The 2 most expensive cards in the deck are the Heroine's Lineage and the Fighting Against Fates. So both of those may net you a total of $100 between the 2 cards, and then everything else is probably under 30. If you don't have to buy the starter deck, you just buy all the cards individually. You can get the deck for pretty cheap. So that's a very, very cheap aggro deck. So, but this is what I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.